Democrats are leaving their party in droves as massive amount of voters are defecting to Trump. In this video, we're going to take a look at three groups that are leading a massive exodus from the Democrat Party and how that exodus is indeed spelling disaster for the Democrats come November. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you, coming to you from beautiful Outer Banks in North Carolina. I'll be here for the rest of the week with my family. We're having a wonderful time here, but I am determined to still upload videos for all of you where we analyze together current events, analyze some super awesome conservative trends so we can all live in the present light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel where each and every day, even in the Outer Banks, we together celebrate the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. And before we dive into this mass exodus here, let's give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's the makers of this awesome motion detector ultra bright solar nightlight. Now you can install it anywhere because it's wireless, and you never need to worry about buying batteries because it's solar powered with a high powered battery storage pack. It's equipped with motion detectors. It becomes an entertainment light for the patio and the barbecue with just a click of a button. And as far as those motion detectors are concerned, they offer effective deterrence against burglars. And best of all, you don't have to spend a fortune for any of it. If you click on the link below right now, you'll get over 52% off as well as free shipping. So what could be better? So don't wait. Click on that link below or visit nightsolarlight.com and bring its light to the dark spaces in your home today. All right, gang, so let's dive right in here. Now, if all we did was listen to or watch the mainstream Marxist media, we would think that the Democrats have already won the November election, right? It's literally 2016 all over again. The media depicts this election as already a foregone conclusion. There's no way Trump can win, yada, yada. But if we take a closer look at what's actually going on here, we'll find a very, very different picture. What's actually happening here, if we have but the eyes to see, as it were, what's really going on is that there are, in fact, a number of trends that exemplify a major stumbling block for the wishful thinking so prominent in the mainstream media. And all those trends point to one thing. Democrats are leaving the party in droves and they are defecting to President Trump. So what I want to do is I want to give you three movements where we're seeing traditional Democrat voters leaving the party and embracing Trump. Now, first and foremost, perhaps the single most significant development in terms of the Democrats hemorrhaging their traditional voter base is the mass defection of the working class away from the Democrats. Now, these are your blue-collar manufacturing workers, factory workers, who have historically voted exclusively Democrat, but who have now defected in droves to vote for Trump. I never get tired of citing the statistic from the 2016 election. There were nearly 200 counties that voted for the Democratic presidential candidate in every single election since 1984 by a 20-point margin that suddenly swung over and voted for Trump by a comparable 20-point margin. So you have to let that hit you, because I think it's a major indicator of this massive political tectonic shift that's going on. There were county after county after county after county, nearly 200 of them in Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that voted for Mondale, Dukakis, Clinton twice, Al Gore, Kerry, Obama twice. I should say not just voted for, but actually gave the Democrat a 20-point margin on average in their victory over the last 3 decades. All of a sudden, to the shock of pollsters and pundits alike, they turned around and voted for Donald Trump with a comparable 20-point margin, making a 40-point swing towards the nationalist populist right. Remember, these were states that Hillary was guaranteed to win since every Democratic presidential candidate since the 1984 election had won them. She was supposed to win Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. Of all 5 states, she only won Minnesota, and only by 40,000 votes. Trump demolished the so-called blue wall precisely because of this mass defection among blue-collar Democrats who never thought they could vote Republican, but they sure as heck could vote for Donald Trump. And according to a recent New York Times poll, 2/3 of Rust Belt voters who voted for the Democrat candidate in the midterm said they're going back and voting for Trump again in November. So that's the first mass exodus from the Democratic Party, the white working class. The second mass exodus from the Democratic Party is coming from the #walkaway movement. Now, I know many of you are familiar with this movement. It's wonderful. It was founded by Brandon Straka. He's a gay hairdresser in New York. Well, once your quintessential liberal. In fact, he was devastated over Hillary's loss in 2016. But like so many others, Brandon was eventually red-pilled, and he founded a movement that exposes the Democratic Party as no longer a viable option for anyone who wants to think for themselves. And so he founded the Walkaway movement. And since its founding, tens of thousands of other Democrats are saying the same thing. Enough of the fear and intimidation. They're posting 5-minute video testimonials on the Walkaway Facebook and Twitter pages on why they're leaving the Democratic Party once and for all. It's just amazing seeing tens of thousands of one-time Democrats repudiating the party and its tactics of manipulation and intimidation through fear. So you've got the defecting white working class. You've got the tens of thousands of testimonies from the walkaway movement. The third major defection trend that we're seeing is coming from what's known as the BLexit movement. Now, it's a term that signifies Black Americans declaring their exit, their independence from the Democratic Party. On average, Blacks vote around 90-95% for the Liberal Democratic candidate, but BLexit may be in the process of changing that. BLexit was founded by the wonderful Candace Owens, who is a very young, powerful voice in the conservative movement, and the potential for BLexit is enormous. A recent Zogby survey found that Black support for Joe Biden is dangerously low, so much so that that fact alone could cause him the election. So BLexit does appear to be happening, and it's significantly contributing to the mass exodus that's going on from the Democratic Party. And so while the mainstream media would have you think that the world is turning away from President Trump, these three major trends actually suggest the opposite. Despite the wishful thinking so prevalent among the left-wing activists disguised as journalists, the Democrats are actually hemorrhaging major constituents in their traditional voting bloc. Put these three groups together, you have the makings of a disastrous 2020 for the Democrats. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on how Black Lives Matter murals are being defaced and erased all across the country. It's going to make your day. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.